So this is our old shamba, 1 year and 2 months old. The second bumper harvest loading. So you can see there are fruits that are coming well inside the plants. Look at all these fruits. Look at all these fruits. Yes. So tiny fruits. These are approximately 1 month old, 3 weeks to 1 month old. So in another 1 month, they'll be mature and start ripening. Passion production is throughout. Flowering is throughout. You can see some flowers here. Though the flowers have subsided because at times there is peak flowering, then fruit conversion. That's why you can see some small fruits like this one here. And if the vine doesn't have enough food, does some abortion. This is some abortion here. Some flowers that aborted, or maybe if it overflowers and cannot carry all the fruit, it aborts some of the fruits. See some tiny fruits here. So yes, we had some flower drop, but still we are comfortable because the plants are carrying what they can feed and can sustain. Remember, these things are genetically controlled. You cannot have more than you can sustain. And yeah, it's still a very hot season. We're in towards end of February in Kenya, and it's extremely hot. So in as much as you are giving the vines a lot of water, 30 liters per vine per week, is still hot, and temperatures still contribute to stressing of the plants. So that's why you still have some flower droppings, but yeah, within a month or some 2 weeks, some 3 weeks, we shall begin harvesting. This is 1.5 acres of passion. We just go through the rest of the farm quickly. Through the rest of the farm, 1.25 acres. During this first phase, we did a lot of vines. In some of the holes, we planted 2 vines per hole, which now, in this new section we are adding, we are not going to do that. We are going to be planting 1 vine per hole, so that each plant has got its own able nutrients. Like you can see, this is one, in this hole there was 1 vine. You can see how big it is and how healthy it is. So if you look at this vine, it has been producing well since it was 7 months. You can see, because it is getting the nutrients very well. If you get a hole that has got 2 vines, there's a lot of competition for nutrients in that area. So that's what one of the things we're going to make changes to. If you look at this, the vines are doing well. The lines are spaced well, straight. Passion production is a very rewarding venture, only that it requires some patience because it is costly to set up and also feed the plants for like 8 months, 10 months, 1 year, waiting to harvest or to reap the first harvest. But after, when the vines get to production, then as a farmer, you now look at ways of optimizing your budget, like cutting where to reduce expenses, so that your business makes sense. And yes, there's a lot of demand for passion for both local and export markets. So these are fruits that is very much needed by consumers in the market. One of the biggest challenges of passion is that these vines grow aggressively. Like you can see, these were pruned like 3 weeks ago, but you can see they have regrown back. And passion doesn't require a lot of bushiness or vegetativeness because we need light to penetrate. See, inside the tree, we need sunlight for aeration, photosynthesis, flowering, and also to reduce the amount of nutrients needed, because bushiness definitely means a lot of more nutrients are required to sustain the plant. But you can see we have tried to do some pruning, and the vines are appreciating, they are yielding. We have just come from a high season of harvesting after 1 year. Actually, between 11 months to 1 year, we have done like 2 tons in 2 months of harvesting. So this time around, we are looking for that number to go up to maybe 2.5, 3 tons, but in the next 2 months. So we shall be looking at improved yield, sustained yield for the next, this year is 2025, February. So we expect to harvest all through in 2025, 2026, peak production, that's what I mean. Then in 2027 mid, we expect the vines to be still productive, but to have started yield dropping in production. So that's why we are putting up new sections to make sure that we have got continuous production throughout the year. To also get good volumes for better bargains in the market, because once you've got sustained volumes, these are replacement tree, and which was here dried, because once you have got sustained production, you can always get negotiations because you have got volumes in the market. Your buyers can be able to build trust of production, reliability, so they can be able to offer you best prices. Farm gate prices during peak season is 120 shillings per kg, and for export market they go up to 180 to 200 per kg. Yes, during the low seasons, farm gate goes as low as 180 shillings per kg. Export drops all the way to 120, 130, 140 there. So if you're getting like in this what we have seen, a ton per month, that's 100,000 per month. So, and Makiu, we made a lot of mistakes in this first setup. That's why we are trying to learn a lot of things, so that as we grow, we avoid mistakes and maybe see. There are farmers who get more, up to, I don't know, 400 kgs, 500 kgs per acre per week. That is 2 tons per month. And so we are looking at how we can also grow those numbers to those volumes, so that we can also get return for investment. One thing that we did is that our baton drippers failed. So the way we did the setup, the pressure wasn't working well, so we resorted to man watering using 10-liter cans, jerry cans. So we do 3 sessions a week. Each session is 10 liters per vine, per hole. So per week, a hole gets 30 liters. So if the hole has got 1 vine, that's 30 liters per vine. If the hole has got 2 vines, like this, which you said we did a mistake of planting 2 in 1 hole, then the 2 vines will share the 30 liters. Not bad still, they are producing. But then again, I said, going forward, we shall only do 1 vine per hole, because we have learned our lessons. We don't want to make mistakes. And this is a journey we shall be updating potential farmers. Farming is a very good journey, especially if you're young and old, for everybody. But you have to be willing to pay the price. Sometimes what you read in the books may make sense or may not make sense when you come to the ground. So you have to really put in hours, like you're doing a degree course. Like for me, my background is in IT. But for the last 1 year, I can tell you, I have watched more farming videos than programming videos. So I am a qualified agronomist. If I go back to university to do a second degree, I would definitely qualify as a very qualified agronomist, because of the time, the effort, the thinking, the analysis that I've put in as an engineer to farming. It's an art as well. A lot of mathematics, a lot of thinking. What if I do this? What if I don't do this? What are the likely outcomes if I'm going to spend X on this? How sustainable is that? Yeah, but at the end of the day, once you hit the market, it becomes very fulfilling when the money starts trickling in. You can see some of the plants have got weeds. We are going to do weeding in the next few. Like here we did a mistake during the holes. That's in the new section you have seen us, we have put some lines to demarcate how we are going to do the holes, because you can see we want the distance between the rows to be 2 meters. If you look here, it's quite small. The distance between the rows is small here in this section, roughly 1 meter and something. So this is not good because it brings a microclimate of coldness, and a microclimate of coldness in a passion farm brings vegetativeness. Passion vines are like very intelligent plants. I don't know, all plants are intelligent, but passion vines is like the think. This tip, this apical bud here, is like the brain. It moves and thinks like a human or a living creature. So once you have got this microclimate here, you tend to get out of vegetativeness, growth, vegetativeness, which still brings vegetativeness is not good for yielding, because the plant tends to focus more on growth other than producing. And also pruning becomes difficult. Remember, you have to prune these plants throughout. So in terms of pruning, we have got 2 types of pruning. We have got pruning of the old leaves, the dead leaves, and also the dead branches, and also the branches in which the flowers have aborted. So once the flower aborts, you just have to do away with that branch, because it can't yield unless you want it to produce another letter or vine. So yeah, we have really tried. Let me just take you quickly through the rest of the farm. We are actually halfway. This is, remember, 1.25 acres. So we have roughly covered half an acre. So yes, you can see 650 holes, 900 vines. We are now in this section at the end, this end of the farm. Let's pick somewhere else, take a walk through. You can see this vine, there's a lot of sun. Also you can see some leaves are red, are yellow, that is. So they have got a lot of stress. If you look at some of the fruits, they look like they are shrinking, but still they're getting water. It's stress. There's a lot of stress on the plants, but the rain still, though we are under irrigation, in like a month when the rains, March, April, May rains come, we hope they'll cool the temperatures a bit and help the plants regrow, regain their vigor. So you can see production all through. Currently no money is trickling in, because we have just from a very high intensive harvest. So now passion follows a cycle whereby after flowering, the fruits take 2 months to 3 months to fully mature and fall to drop. So you find that you've got a peak harvesting of 2 months, 2 weeks. Then as you harvest, new flowers are coming up. But towards the tail end of the harvest, you find now you have got flowers which have already replaced what you have harvested, and the fruits are just green, growing, but not yet mature. So for you to like really have like all year the farm running throughout, you need to have different sections, like maybe 5 acres, whereby you have got or 6 acres, maybe say, which are separated in time. So once this section is fruiting, flowering, the other section is yielding for market. That way you're able to enjoy all-time production. But as you said, this is a project we began towards the end of 2023. Started real production in August 2024, where the vines were around 8 months, and the volume started kicking in December 2024 to first week of February. So yeah, we have learned, we are now architects, masters in this game of passion. We have really become our own agronomists. Like this section of the farm, I'm in charge of it. I'm not like the chief agronomist for this. And then Like I can tell you, another mistake I want us to talk about is we did 3 lines of wires instead of 1. You can see there's a top wire here. We have a middle one here, a middle wire here, and a lower one here. Now let me talk about that. It has got advantages and disadvantages. Advantage is that your vines will have a bigger area to patch on, to grow. That's why you can see our vines are very big, are very bushy. What that means is that pruning will be very difficult because you've got branches everywhere. And the passion likes having vines. That is for sure. It loves that. So what is going to happen is that pruning will become a challenge, and the vines will be very big. But also there's a potential of getting more yield. But now in the new section, you're going to do a standard way of whereby you are going to have only the top wire and have the vines laterally drop into the ground. But if need be, we shall put a middle string here to help them to latch. So that will reduce the effort for the plants. So this is our nursery for grafting. So this is where we'll get the seedlings for the next round. Which will be now planted in the next 2 weeks in the area that we are preparing. We are planning to do around 400 in 0.6 acres. The next section, and these are for the other sections, we are planning to increase the acreage for passions to 8 acres by mid 2025. So in 2026 we are looking at producing really a lot of passion in tons per week. So this journey is going to be documented for all of you on this channel. So yes, look at this. Fruits, but still a challenge. So much bushness inside there. So this is a place where you'll find some pests hiding. Here. So it's a very cool place for them to hide. But overall, we have really ramped up our efforts on pruning. So yeah, we are catching up with it. Our button drippers, I said they stopped working, but we are looking at a way of trying to revive them. We are trying to be creative so that we also cut on the manual cost of watering in our farm to bring our expenses to the minimum possible. These are fruit that has dropped here, right? You can take it. Oh, it's damaged. It's damaged fruit. Actually, it looks like it had a fruit fly infestation. So it got sick, it fell. So to control fruit flies, we normally use some pheromone traps. We have got around 16 of them in this farm. So difficult to see because they're attacking the leaves. They attract the male, then the male dies. So breeding is controlled. And once breeding is controlled, the population goes down. The pheromone traps are very effective. We learned how to do that through the hard way. We had a 1.1 acre farm of watermelon. It was the end of 2023. So we lost a lot of tons of melon because of fruit flies. So after trying so many techniques, we stumbled upon that pheromone trap. It worked magic. We controlled those pests, and now, since we had passion coming, we now knew the trick. Now, with the fruit flies in control, we have absolutely no worry on pests. Sometimes we get a lot of bites because some of these insects, they kind of outmaneuver the system, but we are confident of the control in the farm. So you can see, still in the farm. So yes, this is just today's a walkthrough video, but we shall now start doing more detailed, because to make the farm look like this, there have been so many activities that have happened. So we'll be trying to go into details, because what I'm showing you is an end product of so many moving parts. So we'll try now to break down the parts that have culminated to this success, so that wherever you're in your journey, you can try to replicate it into your product. So let me go back. I've been biased on this side of the farm. Let me go to the other side, show you more. Look at good spacing, but this is quite big. It's around 2.5 meters. So yeah, if you're using farm mechanization, this is a good way of putting spacing, but we didn't reach there because we use human labor. for the farm activities. And I think human labor is the best for passion. These are not like other plants like oranges, which need some serious machinery to maintain or operate, work on. So these are replacement plant. This section did not be planted because of this tree. So we cleared the tree. This is around 6 months old. Look at the vine. It has not touched the wire. It's growing. So we'll give it like another 2 months. It occupies this space up to there, up to there. It meets its colleague there. So they occupy this area, like just this other area here. Then now they start production. That's what they do. They do best. Even this is 6 months. Even this is 6 months. 6 months, 6 months. So after 6 months, your farm starts taking shape. 5 months, starts taking shape. Some vines actually produce at like 6 months. I'll show you some there which are yielding at 6. So in this section of the farm, we have got a challenge here. Some of the vines here, they don't do well. I don't know if it's the soil in this, just this line here, just like a 20 meter area of 2 lines. They still yield, yes, but I don't know. They really have a lot of stress this section, but they still try to yield. So these are the pheromone traps. You can see here inside we have the trap there. Inside you can see some dead males. So these had recently been emptied. It was full of trapped pests, fruit flies. You can see under stress, still yielding. But we hope with the rains they'll just regain some vigor. Once they regain some vigor, that's it. They'll be good to go. They'll be good to go. Some of the holes dried up. We did replacements, dried up. So we just give up. Like I said, this section of the farm is quite difficult. So yeah, it happens. Not all plants perform the same section of the farm. Some do well, some don't do well. But it's a very small area. Luckily for us, we have got a lot of vines. 900 vines in 1.25 acres is a lot. Actually, the recommended number for that would be around 800 or 750. But we have got excess of 100 plants or 200, 150. So the excess gives us ability to cater for the losses. See, this is 6 months. It's yielding. There's a fruit there, some fruits here. Yeah, and this is the style that we are going to do in the new farm. We are not going to put 3 wires. This has got only 1 top wire. So we let the letter rows drop like this. From the top wire, we let the letter row drop with its fruits to the bottom. And this one, which is patching over here, just remove these tendrils so that it drops. It starts dropping. So this is 6 months and it's begun yielding, you can see. So by the time this plant is 8 months, 10 months, 1 year, like this, then the farm will be really good. If you have got like 5,000 of those plants, then you are good. 6 months still, 6 months still, not yielded, but almost there. 6 months, touch the wire. There's a lot of sun by the way. You might confuse this for a fungal infection, but it's sun. You know, sun has got very strong UV. Like now we are at like 9 in the morning. Look at the sky. Very hot, very few clouds, very hot. But we use solar to pump our water, so the pump is working well. But then this stress to the plants is what is making them to shed flowers, take time to deliver this time of the year. But also at this time of the year is when you have got the best prices because production still goes down for the farmers, you see. 6 months. 6 months began yielding. And it's not even covered. The area is supposed to cover. So this was section we added later in August 27. We are now 1st March 2025, so 6 months. And it's 6 months. After another 3 months, this will be big. This area has been harvested a lot, and it's still yielding. You can see the passion yields. You see, 1 vine per hole, very healthy vine. compared to 2 vines per hole. Very small vines, so we advise to do 1 per hole. Sometimes you might be lucky, you get 2 per hole, but you're doing well. Like this is 2 per hole, but still doing well for each of the vines. Yeah, so that's the walkthrough of the farm. So between March and mid-March, end of March, to mid-May, we expect 2 tons, 2.5 tons, maybe even 3, who knows. We haven't yet become good at approximating the production. But one thing we normally use is the daily drop-ins. The vines, the passion that fall on the ground. So if we get like 15 kgs daily drop-ins, then we can estimate to have a weekly harvest of 200 kgs. If you have got like 20 kgs drop-in daily, you can estimate to have 250 kgs per week. So that is one of the surest ways to measure how much is your production. So if you see the daily drop-ins have started going down and you have good fruit, then you know this fruit is not ready to ripen. That's the only sure way we have seen working for us. Yes, so let's go do other activities and try to break down this farm bit by bit and to walk the journey in passion production. Thank you. John Chalo, Machakos, Kenya.